Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Continuing to see mostly cloudy to even overcast conditions at times, and that will continue as we move through the day today. And we continue to see a slight onshore breeze as well, and overall expecting a fairly quiet weather day ahead despite the slightly breezy conditions. But we will see some more impactful weather moving into the area, particularly as we get to the second half of the weekend with that coastal area of low pressure, that nor'easter moving into the region. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, still seeing the periphery of this high pressure center to our north, impacting and keeping things fairly quiet locally here, but again, helping to bring on that slightly breezy onshore flow with that slightly tighter pressure gradient over the area. We'll see that tighten up as an area of low pressure develops off the southeast coast. If we take a look at the current visible satellite, we see this cloud deck that has moved westward off the water, continuing to build in over the area. As mentioned, expected to stay mostly cloudy to overcast as we move through really the next several days. If we take a look at the GFS model here for how things are expected to play out through the weekend and the extended forecast, we'll see, as mentioned, quiet conditions over the area today, and we'll see that high pressure begin to move off to our northeast as area low pressure starts to develop off the southeast coast. Models in good agreement that does occur and generally work its way further northward, starting to bring those impacts into the region as we move into our Saturday in the form of some scattered light rain around the area, and we'll gradually start to see some building winds through the area on Saturday with a chance of seeing a wind advisory. But we'll really start to see the more significant impacts as we move overnight Saturday and into the day on Sunday as we see this pressure gradient tightening, and we'll see some windy onshore winds developing. Likely early on Sunday is when we'll probably see our strongest winds, where we could see those peak winds up between 50 and 55 miles per hour. But nonetheless, all of Sunday looking very windy throughout the day as this area of low pressure looks to set up just to our south or southeast, also bringing with it some widespread, more moderate to heavier rainfall at times. So looking to see a good chance for some significant rainfall with this as well, and some persistent onshore flow going to bring in that chance of some tidal flooding around the area. As we move overnight Sunday and into the beginning of next week, we do have some uncertainty with some diverging solutions with the models, but generally expecting the area of low pressure to weaken, and with that we'll see those winds start weakening and the rain showers become a bit less intense and more scattered. Continue to see some lingering impacts looking into the area for Monday as pretty much all models keep the low in the general vicinity of the region, keeping those rain chances and some breezy conditions continuing through Monday and possibly into the first part of Tuesday, but starting to see some relief potentially as we get into the second half of Tuesday. We're generally expecting that area of low pressure to continue weakening and then gradually pulling away from the area. And then as that moves out behind that, we'll start to see high pressure building in, and we'll actually see a dry boundary bring in some cooler conditions as we move to the middle and end of next week. So as we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, again expecting fairly quiet conditions as we move through the day today. Winds out of the east 9 to 14 knots with the peak gusts up around 21, maybe 22 knots. So expected to stay below wind advisory criteria today, but we'll see cloudy conditions with our ceilings mainly between 4,000 and 5,000 feet, possibly dropping down to 3,000 feet as we go into the evening time frame. We'll see our high temperature around 66 degrees, and then we'll see things cooling to around 60 degrees for our Saturday morning low, as we will see some slight weakening of the winds through that time frame. And we do introduce a yellow risk for some light precip possible, mainly as we pass the 5 a.m. time frame Saturday morning. Tides are running slightly above normal with the onshore breeze, and then Saturday, as mentioned, that's when we'll start to see the first chances for rain moving in the area, looking at an orange risk for precip, as we'll see scattered, generally light rain around the region, and we'll see a slightly breezy conditions through much of the day, and then we'll see things becoming a bit breezier later in the day. So we do have an orange risk for elevated winds above 25 knots. We'll see a high expected in the low 70s, and generally seeing it mostly cloudy to overcast conditions. Things really start to become unsettled as we move into Saturday evening. As you see, we increase to a red risk for precip and those strong winds. Again, expecting those winds to become windy through that time frame there, and those rain showers to become more widespread and likely, as well as more moderate in nature and intensity. As we go into Sunday, again, looking at widespread rain through the day. Could see that rain heavy at times. Do have a yellow risk for lightning threat as a slight chance of a thunderstorm with any of those heavier rain showers. Looks like we'll see likely a couple inches of rain around the region. And again, those peak winds gusting up to 50 to 55 miles per hour, likely happening during the first portion of the day on Saturday, but still remaining windy as we move through the day, with some slight weakening expected as we get late into the day on Sunday. And then again, some tidal flooding expected as well with that persistent onshore flow. As we look into the extended forecast here, as mentioned, keep some lingering rain chances through the day on Monday with some breezy conditions, temperatures continuing right in the 60s, and then gradually decreasing our rain chances as we move overnight into Tuesday. Continuing with cloudy and breezy conditions on Tuesday, though, and then we'll see things really start to quiet down as we get into the middle of the week with partly cloudy conditions, a somewhat mild day or seasonable day on Wednesday, and then a dry boundary pushes through with some cooler air back down into the mid-60s for our highs as we go into Thursday, but not expecting any precip and some a bit quieter weather as we move through the middle and second portion of next week. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again on Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.